If you knew that just one compliment could make her heart beat faster, would you still waste time with tired lines like "you're hot" or "nice dress"? The truth is, most men have no idea how powerful their words really are. Welcome back to Olivia Rose. Most guys think attraction is only about looks, money, or charm. But the real secret is this: a woman never forgets how you make her feel, and nothing makes her feel more seen than the right compliment at the right time. Today, I'm going to share 8 powerful compliments that don't just sound nice. They trigger something deeper, something primal in her psychology that makes her drawn to you on a level she can't explain. Before we start, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Every video here is designed to help you master connection, influence, and relationships through calm confidence. 1. That fragrance you're wearing is addictive. There's something about scent that's deeper than most people realize. Think about it. How many times have you caught a certain smell and instantly been pulled back into a memory? Maybe it was the smell of rain after a hot day and suddenly you're a kid again playing outside. Or maybe it's a perfume your first crush wore, and the moment you smell it, you're right back in that nervous, excited space. Smell isn't just another sense, it's directly tied to memory and emotion. Most guys never think about this. They're too busy saying "you look hot" or "I like your dress." It's shallow, forgettable, the kind of line she's heard 100 times. But when you look at her with calm confidence and say, "That fragrance you're wearing is addictive," something different happens. You're telling her you noticed her in a way most men don't. You're saying, "Your presence doesn't just pass by, it stays with me." That's powerful because women want to be remembered, not just looked at, and scent is one of the fastest ways to make that happen. Here's the key though, you can't say it like you're trying to flatter her for points. You can't blurt it out nervously or exaggerate it like you're in a movie. The impact comes when you deliver it with quiet composure. A stoic man doesn't waste words, he speaks with intention. So when you tell her her fragrance is addictive, keep it simple. Let the pause after your words do the work. What happens then? Every single time she sprays that perfume, she'll think of you. Every time she catches that scent, her brain will link it back to that moment you said it. That's not just a compliment, that's creating an emotional anchor, and anchors are what make you unforgettable. 2. Your smile could brighten up an entire room. A smile isn't just about lips or teeth, it's energy. It's the way the whole vibe of a room can change just because someone walked in smiling. Maybe you've felt this before. You're in a place where everything feels dull, heavy, stressful. Then one person walks in and suddenly it feels lighter. That's the power of a real smile. Most men don't get this. They'll say, "You've got nice teeth" or "pretty smile." Sure, it's not wrong, but it's surface level. What you're really noticing isn't just the curve of her mouth. It's the way her presence shifts the atmosphere. When you tell a woman, "Your smile brightens the whole room," you're telling her, "I see your effect on the world around you." That's something deeper. That's influence. And influence is far more attractive than simple looks. You're making her feel powerful in the most natural way. By showing her that her joy doesn't just stay with her, it spreads. A woman doesn't hear this often. She hears about her beauty. She hears about her body. But when you acknowledge her presence, it sticks. Say it when the timing is right. Maybe when she laughs and everyone else laughs too. Maybe when she smiles and you feel lighter. That's when you tell her, "You just lit up the whole place." And you say it sincerely, not as a line but as truth. From a stoic view, this matters because presence is everything. A stoic man isn't loud, but he carries weight, and he sees when others do the same. That's why when you compliment her smile, it hits different. You're not just calling her pretty, you're recognizing her power, and recognition is something that makes people feel truly seen. 3. I love how real you are. The world is full of masks, People pretend every day on social media, at work, even in relationships. Everyone's trying to fit in, to be liked, to be accepted, but authenticity, that's rare. And when you meet a woman who doesn't hide behind filters or fake personalities, you've got to acknowledge it. When you tell her, I love how real you are, you're saying, I see your courage to be yourself in a world that rewards fakeness. That's not just a compliment, it's respect. And respect goes further than flattery. Here's the thing. Being real isn't always smooth. It can be messy, unpolished, even a little uncomfortable, but it's raw, and raw is magnetic. Women hear all the usual compliments about beauty, style, body, but they rarely hear someone say, I admire the fact that you don't try to be anyone else but yourself. That hits a deeper part of her. From a Stoic perspective, truth is everything. Stoicism is about living in line with your true self, not what society wants you to be. When you recognize her authenticity, you're aligning with one of the strongest human values, honesty, and that makes her feel safe around you because she knows she doesn't have to act either. Say it when you notice it. Maybe she refuses to follow trends. Maybe she shares an unpopular opinion and stands by it. That's when you tell her, that's what I like about you. You're just real. And you'll see it, the small shift in her eyes, the way her guard lowers. Because you didn't just compliment her looks, you complimented her soul. 4, the way you see the world is so unique. It really makes me think. Most people repeat what they hear. They copy opinions, follow the crowd, and avoid standing out. But every now and then you meet someone who sees things differently. Maybe it's how she talks about life. Maybe it's how she questions the usual way of doing things. That uniqueness, that perspective, is magnetic. When you tell her, I love the way you see the world, it really makes me think. You're saying, your mind inspires me. And let's be honest, women don't get compliments on their mind nearly as much as they should. They get compliments on beauty all the time. But words like these show that you see something more valuable, her perspective. This type of compliment does something subtle. It invites her to open up more, to share her ideas, to let you into her inner world. It creates connection without needing touch. And that connection is often what she craves more than anything. From a Stoic standpoint, this is about depth. Stoicism teaches us to question, to reflect, to not just accept what's given. By appreciating her way of thinking, you're aligning with that philosophy. You're telling her, I don't just want your attention, I want your insight. That's rare. Say it when she shares something that actually makes you pause. Maybe she tells a story in a way you never thought of. Maybe she gives an opinion that makes you stop and reflect. That's your chance. Tell her, you just made me see things differently. And trust me, she won't forget that because you didn't just see her beauty, you saw her mind. 5, I love your energy. It's contagious. Energy is something you can't see, but you can feel it the second someone walks in the room. You know those people who drain you without even saying much? The air feels heavier around them. On the flip side, you've also met people who light up the space without even trying. Suddenly everyone feels lighter, more alive, more awake. That's what real energy does. It spreads. So when you look at a woman and tell her, I love your energy, it's contagious, you're not just saying she's fun to be around, you're saying, you inspire me without even trying. That's a compliment that hits on a deeper level because it's not about how she looks, it's about how she makes you feel. Most men miss this. They're stuck on the obvious, complimenting her beauty, her hair, her clothes. Sure, she might smile at that, but she's heard it all before. What she hasn't heard nearly enough is someone noticing her impact. Women don't forget the men who recognize their influence beyond appearance, because looks fade, but the way someone makes you feel, that stays. Timing is important with this compliment. Say it when her presence actually shifts your mood. Maybe you were tired and then her laughter pulled you back up. Maybe she cracked a joke and suddenly you felt lighter. That's the moment to tell her, you've got a kind of energy that just makes everything better. From a Stoic angle, this is key too. A Stoic man pays attention to how people affect him. He doesn't just let others drain him. He values those who bring growth, light, and inspiration. By pointing out her energy, you're saying, I notice the effect you have and it matters. That's respect. And here's the truth. When you tell a woman that her energy makes you want to be better, she'll never forget it, because you didn't just admire her beauty, you admired her power to transform the space around her. And that's a rare kind of compliment. 6, you're honestly one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met. We live in a time where kindness often feels like a performance. People post about it online, talk about it loudly, but behind closed doors they don't live it. That's why real thoughtfulness stands out. It's rare. When you tell a woman you're one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met, you're going straight past the surface. You're not talking about what she looks like. You're pointing to her heart, her actions, the little details she remembers. Maybe she asks about something you mentioned weeks ago. Maybe she checks in when she doesn't have to. Maybe she makes others feel included in small but meaningful ways. That's thoughtfulness. And when you notice it, it tells her you see who she is, not just how she looks. This type of compliment matters more than most guys think, because while women get told they're beautiful all the time, very few are told, I admire your kindness. That's why it sticks. It makes her feel appreciated for something she doesn't fake. It's who she really is. From a Stoic perspective, this fits perfectly. The Stoics valued virtue above appearance. They believed character, not charm, was the foundation of a good life. And when you notice her thoughtfulness, you're honoring something real, something lasting. You're saying, your goodness matters more to me than anything else. Say it when it's real. If she does something small but meaningful, call it out. Don't wait. Tell her, that was thoughtful. I really noticed that. Delivered calmly, it lands harder than any flashy line. Trust me, she'll never forget the man who saw her heart when everyone else only saw her looks. 7, I love how driven you are. Your purpose is inspiring. Drive is attractive because it's rare. Most people are comfortable coasting through life, avoiding challenges, staying safe. But when you meet a woman who's ambitious, who wakes up with goals and actually chases them, that stands out. When you tell her, I love how driven you are, your purpose inspires me, you're not just saying she works hard, you're acknowledging her fire, her mission, her unwillingness to settle for average. That's one of the most powerful compliments you can give, because it tells her you respect her on a deeper level than just attraction. You respect her vision. And let's be honest, society often tells women to slow down, to stop being too much, to be less ambitious. So when a man sees that drive and appreciates it, it hits differently. It tells her, I see your hunger and I admire it, not fear it. From a Stoic point of view, this is key too. The Stoics taught that wasted time is the biggest loss in life. A Stoic man doesn't sit around waiting for success. He works for it every single day. So when you tell her you respect her ambition, you're aligning yourself with her mindset. You're saying, your fire matches mine. Say it when she's talking about her work, her dreams, her plans. Tell her that's inspiring. Not loud, not overdone, just simple truth. She'll remember it because you didn't just admire her beauty, you admired her mission, and that's what makes you unforgettable. 8. You have this incredible way of making people feel valued. Not everyone has it. Some people demand attention, some try to impress, but very few can walk into a room and make others feel seen and important. That's emotional intelligence. And if a woman has this quality, you need to tell her. When you say you have this incredible way of making people feel valued, you're going beyond flattery. You're telling her your presence makes others feel safe, appreciated, and important. That's rare. And it makes her feel deeply respected because you're noticing not just what she does, but the effect she has on people. Most men will never notice this. They'll get caught up on looks, on outfits, on surface compliments. But the man who sees her ability to make others feel comfortable, that's the man she remembers, because that's not something she hears every day. From a Stoic perspective, this ties directly to virtue again: empathy, presence, connection. These are strengths, not weaknesses. A stoic man values those who uplift others, and when you acknowledge that in her, you're aligning with the highest kind of respect. Say it when you see it in action. Maybe she includes someone quiet in the conversation. Maybe she makes a stranger feel welcome. That's when you tell her calmly, directly, with no extra words, just, you make people feel valued. She won't forget it, because beauty fades, charm can be faked, but the gift of making others feel important, that's unforgettable. And when you're the one who noticed it, she'll always remember you for it. And there you go, 8 compliments that go deeper than you're hot or you're cute. These aren't cheap lines. These are acknowledgements of presence, power, and character. A woman may forget what you said, but she will never forget how you made her feel. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and stick around, because in the next video, I'm showing you 7 good morning texts no woman can resist. Trust me, you'll want those in your back pocket.